Yes, I'm Samer Azer, and I am the pastor of the Lutheran Church in Amman. There was not a single period in time that the Christians have not maintained their presence in the Holy Land. And first of all, because this has to do with their background. So we have been born in the place. We are descendants of the early Christians. And this is part and parcel of our identity. It's not so easy to imagine the cradle of Christianity without the local Arab Christians who, in our theological understanding, they are the sixth gospel. We have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. The fifth gospel, not so many people speak about it, but it's the geography, it's the place. And now we are at the baptism site. And when we speak about John the Baptist and the wilderness, we are actually in the place. So this makes a big difference to understand and to relate it to our theological understanding and to our spirituality. And I think our presence here as Arab Christians is very important in carrying the message to the world about our faith, about living in a multicultural, multi-religious context. And now we are living among Muslims, among Jews, and this is very important. We are Arabs at the end of the day, and we do emphasize this, though there are so many voices trying to separate our Arabism from our Christian belief, and that's a big mistake. We speak the Arabic language, we know the culture, we know the traditions, and we share many things in commonality with our Muslim brothers and sisters. So we understand them better and they understand us better. And this is very important for the continuation of our presence here, to keep the living message of Christ present. Presenting Christ does not mean it does not mean that we have to do this by force, or we have just to be in streets or dispatch pamphlets, as some could understand, or convert others and uproot them from their religious and from their family backgrounds, which we sometimes endangered their lives according to some Islamic understanding. But we have our own way and mean to present the gospel through various ways and means, and this is a topic on its own. And I think we, living in the context, we are very professional in this, because we know the customs, we know the traditions, we know the language, and the love of God through us has to spread in our natural life. Some people have really come to me and confessed and said, we cannot understand what you have done to your society. You have broken the boundaries. Your loving approach is inviting. And to me, that's very important, because to present Christ's love has to be shown to all. But as ambassadors of Christ, it's our task and our commission to carry this message of Christ, of love, of understanding, of development, of equality, of women's rights, of children's rights, in our own conviction and in our own way. And that's where we feel our presence is important. Secondly, the governments or the countries in the Middle East, particularly now we speak about Jordan, where we are in, very well appreciates the presence of Christians in Jordan and in the Middle East. And that's why, as yesterday in the terminology of the Prime Minister, he said, like, King Abdullah II of Jordan, he is the custodian, he's the protector not only of the religious sites, but of the Christianity in the Middle East. When we speak about our Arab Christians, we are not actually here immigrants. We have been born here. We are the original inhabitants of the area. Even we were long before Islam came. So we are looked upon us not as strangers, but as aboriginals, as the original inhabitants of the land. And this really strengthens our identity. Coming to Jordan as female bishops or female ordained ministers, it's not common because we are patriarchal society, and it's not common to see ordained women serving. So yesterday in the procession, I was hearing some voices behind me. Look, 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 look. They look like bishops and they look like priests and they are women. To me, that was very good reaction to see it. So in a way, we are trying to bring a change. So the key word, the key factor for change is education at the early stages. And in the Middle East, I think we suffer sometimes from poor education or unoriented education to these global issues and to these justice issues, especially when it comes to women. But it would be a big mistake, for example, to ordain and assign at some place where it could be critical, you know? It needs gradual. Maybe we ordain and we assign, for example, to assist in schools or to assist in teaching and assist in congregations. But to appoint an ordained female minister, for example, in a congregation, we have really to study the context very well and to see the recipiency of this, to see women capable of speaking and delivering the word of God and being in full presence at the altar. I think it's a big message. You know, at the prime ministry, I mean, even to the Jordanian government officials, to see ordained ministers from the global Lutheran Communion, it's a change. That it's not only we have women leaders in jurisdiction or in police or in tourism, but also in the ecclesiastical circles. So that was a very big testimony, which is reflected, I'm sure it will be reflected to the grassroots gradually. Our Lutheran Church was the pioneer church in the Middle East to start a women's school in Beit Jala. It's Talita Kumi. So the mission of the Lutheran Church in the Middle East is to take the women's case hand in hand and push it forward. And we would like to see this going forward through our programs, through our ministry, and through our involvement in the society. But Talita Kumi is you girl, you gazelle, rise up. So we have really to rise up. And maybe rising up, if somebody is suffering, maybe he needs some assistance. And this is what we have really to do. So we are blessed to have our Lutheran theology at our backbone and our background. And this really gives us a strength to move forward in all these issues. Ya Ghazala Qumi. Qumi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.